All right, nice work, Christy. Let's bring up Tom with his innovation he's Director of Customer Success at Solutionreach with his awesome innovation. Here we go.
Thank you. It's been a great couple of days, met a lot of great people. Thanks Dave and Burke and everyone from Customer Success for putting this great event on. And it was great to see Dean's presentation this morning. I don't speak German, so I didn't know what Krakenwagen meant, but seeing the big Kraken was informative on why that would be necessary. So I want to talk to you about our innovation, which has drastically changed our company. I'm honored to be the one presenting it. There's a handful of people here from Solutionreach who've played a major role in the execution and in the development of this that's drastically changed our business. And the takeaway is find out the reason you were hired by your customer and make sure that your onboarding process is structured and the way you interact with a customer is focused on the reason you're getting hired or your job to be done. So to get into the results, which is how I want to preface the conversation to explain the drastic impact this had on our business, we've effectively been able to do more faster on fewer resources. So we've seen early retention climb from 65% up above 95%. We've seen the time that we spend onboarding customers come down from 3 months down to 3 weeks, and we're doing it with fewer internal resources. So this has been great for our business in a lot of different ways. It's helped us accomplish our mission as a company. So this fast track is what we call this onboarding service. Has helped us, our two-pronged mission is to improve the healthcare experience for patients and for their providers. We serve a lot of independent physicians, clinicians throughout the nation. And this has helped us do that on a broader scale. And it's also strengthened our core SaaS metrics that I want to talk through more specifically as we've got a room full of SaaS leaders. And I think this will help resonate the context and the relevance of the problem. So we've been able to, since implementing this service, accelerate our new account growth. We've also been able to decrease the cost to acquire those new accounts, and we've been able to increase through improved retention the lifetime value of those new customers that we've brought on. And as we go through and give more context on what the problem was, I'll walk through the specific impacts that this is the specific ways that these 3 metrics that I think are the 3 most important metrics for any SaaS business have been impacted. And yeah, for all of you, hopefully this resonates, and I want to change your perspective because a lot of times the way SaaS companies structure these core metrics are such that account growth and cost to acquire new accounts is a sales and marketing issue. And we've seen an impact on those through client success changes. And similarly, lifetime value or the retention issue is typically the retention issues KPI specifically is thought of as a client success issue to be resolved. And we've gotten a lot of buy-in from our team. So I want to provide some more context on Solutionreach. So we're an 18-year-old business. Again, our approach is to improve the healthcare experience for patients and for their providers. And over a decade and a half that we've been in business, we've grown significantly on a sustainable, up and to the right track. We've grown to the point where we're now serving almost 30,000 locations, and there's millions of patients daily that are being served through our platform. And it's been great. As the company's grown, as sales specifically was really successful in adding all these new customers, we grew our post-sale operation in a similar fashion. The way we were selling customers, we mirrored post-sale and gave them what they wanted. And this was great. For a long time, we saw high sustainable growth. But those of you that have been a part of any company, growth, the law of large numbers, eventually will slow down. And as we saw some softening in this growth recently, the the interesting thing as we dug into it wasn't that new sales coming in the door had diminished. We were still getting a lot of new sales in the door, but the problem was we were leaking customers early. And this was a big problem because as a high growth business, that's how you're valued. The most important stakeholders in our company and our board of directors, obviously this was an important outcome that mattered a lot, that our growth was softening. So to quantify how much we were losing, only 65% of our customers stayed with us at the end of onboarding. We were spending money, so that in and of itself was impeding our account growth. If we were losing that many, we had to sell 3 accounts to keep 2 of them post-onboarding. We were spending money. We had a CS team devoted to trying to save these accounts that were leaving us early on. So that was inflating our cost to acquire customers. So those two factors, and then the obvious third of retention was depressing our customer lifetime value. So this was a problem for our business. This is a problem that you can see across any business that's seeing growth soften and as a result of early churn. So for us, to contrast with the experience that Dean shared at ServiceNow, the most important step we took first on was aligning the leadership around the problem. This wasn't a CS problem. I think in the past we did think like a traditional SaaS business that CS owns churn, those other KPIs are owned by sales, marketing, but really quickly the mentality shifted. Paul Cokerhands is here. He's our head of sales. If you asked him, and maybe you've met him over the last couple days, he's at a CS conference. You ask him about churn, he'll tell you that he owns churn as well. And that's a mentality that made it so we could move fast. Was, again, as Dean was going through his what impeded their growth, I think has been a strength for us to be able to get our leadership on board so that we could move fast and see some of these really impactful results. So getting team-wide buy-in just so you can have the resources and be prepared to make the necessary changes was an important first step for us. Next, we wanted to focus in on where the problem occurred. So 65% retention at the end of onboarding, that's where we wanted to start. Taking a look at our onboarding process, the way that it was set up, over a 2 to 3 month period after we sold an account, we'd turn on the software, we'd allow the customer to choose how they wanted to set up their settings, and we wanted to train them on every feature that we offered in our platform. We've got the broadest, most robust software in our space, and our customers wanted to, that's a lot of the reasons why they were buying it. So we took them through 8 to 10 hours of training phone calls over the course of the 2 to 3 months, depending which products mix that they bought. But the problem we were still facing, even though we had high customer satisfaction based on the process, was 65% stayed with us at the end of this. So why were the others leaving? And if you were here for Greg Daines' presentation yesterday, he talked a lot about asking the right questions, and we weren't. We were asking the question, why were they leaving, when the proper question is, why were the others staying? So we changed our focus at that point to focus on our best customers. We've talked about the ideal customer models, and so we enlisted the help of Greg and Jeff to dig into our data, our customer data. We've been around for a long time, sold over 50,000 accounts over that time. And so with their help, we dug in and identified attributes, trying to understand the reason we were being bought, what our job to be done was for these customers. So what we did was we divided these customers into cohorts. And we didn't just do the way that in banking and private equity I'd always done it, was time-based. When were they sold? And you look at how these cohorts performed over time. We built synthetic cohorts based on every attribute that we tracked on customers. So how they were sold, what were the terms of the sale, how big was the customer, where were they based, was it urban or rural, were they, what was the practice management software they were using, what type of integration did they have. And we used all of these synthetic customer cohorts and then measured how they decayed over time. So starting at 100%, we'd look at, based on whether an attribute was being exhibited by that customer over time, whether or not that had an impact on how they retained with us. And it was great. We were able to identify a lot of things we thought would have an impact on churn, and they didn't. So we were able to take our focus off of a lot of things that turns out didn't have a material impact, and focus on what was the bullseye that mattered to our customers. And for us, there were 3 things that mattered, and this will be different for your business, but the 3 attributes that mattered for our customer was a recurring nature to the doctor-patient relationship. So in dentistry, there's regular routine cleanings and follow-ups that you have, and so that really mattered if that existed or needed to exist for the given healthcare vertical. If the practice offered elective procedures like many dermatology-type clinics or cosmetic clinics will offer, that mattered a lot. And if the office or practice demonstrated the ability to acquire and adopt new technology, that had an impact. And for those customers that exhibited these attributes, we saw over 12 months, they retained twice as much as those lacking the attributes. This was it. This was our bullseye. And that's what we wanted to replicate across the board for all of our customers. So we spent some time interviewing those customers that were seeing the most success, understanding why did they come to work with Solutionreach and why have they stayed working with Solutionreach. And what we've done is taken all the data that we've gathered from retention and what we know about those customers and what they've told us about the way they use our platform and the data we have on how they use our platform, and we created the Solutionreach Fast Track, which is a new onboarding motion to focus on that purpose so we know we're driving the outcomes that they want. And this has been a big change for our company. And I'm not just talking about client success. We've changed the way our sales and marketing operates, and we've changed the way that we decide what products and features to invest in and to create. So the focus isn't just what's going to make the customer happiest. The focus is primarily on what's the outcome that's going to drive them to success. I think that was one of the biggest factors that helped us reduce the time we were spending in onboarding. I think it was Nicole yesterday talked about spending less time with customers, which initially even kind of made me wonder. And I think, yeah, we had to eliminate a lot of non-helpful, lower leverage activities and interactions that we were having with customers. So the focus on outcomes was one important thing. When we say solutions and not just products, we still have a great product and we have more to invest in our product development today, but those best practices, being the expert in our space, has become the new walk and talk of our company and our CS organization especially. So when we engage with one of our customers, we're prescribing to them, leveraging our expertise, what are the best practices that our customers have seen, and what we know will drive the results that that our software is gonna bring to them as well. And if you think about, just to provide one example, if every healthcare practice loses a lot of money when they don't have a patient show up. That's one of the things our software helps provide. But what we do is we tell them, okay, in addition to turning on the software and utilizing it to drive the outcome, create a no-show policy. Put a physical sign in your office, right where the patient's gonna see it. Change your voicemail language. We know there's behaviors around what we do with our SaaS product that are gonna reinforce those outcomes, which our customers, that's really resonated with them for them to start viewing us as experts in their space and boosted their confidence in our ability to effectively help them see success. So next, I wanna just contrast briefly the onboarding process compared to what we had before. So instead of product feature training on everything the customer wanted to see. We've condensed it to focus, and we don't let the customer decide exactly the path they want to go down. We tell them in a prescribed way, these are the settings that are going to lead you to the most success. And so that's how we've structured that call, and all the focus thereafter is on the behaviors that they need to change to get the outcomes that they want. We've created a formula that, again, our job to be done for our customers is bringing more revenue to their business. And so everything we take them through during onboarding, the best practices that we show them, the features that we show that they're going to use on our platform, all tie to one of these pillars that we know will drive success in the outcome. And then as we follow up with QBRs, EBRs, that's what we'll tie all that back to. So in addition to reducing this time up front that we're spending manually with customers, we still offer phone support, chat support for customers as they are trying to get more help in addition to what we're providing as we're focusing on in onboarding on what's most important. We've also invested heavily in a customer community with a lot of great educational content on our market, on the best practices that we provide, a lot of how-tos on our software as well. And like I said, this has had a huge impact on our business. And just to reiterate a lot of the changes to conclude, we're a more customer-focused business today, not just client success, our whole company. When Ben and I were chatting yesterday, he mentioned going to our website and seeing, we're going to boost your revenue. And I'm glad that was the observation, because that wasn't our marketing message before. But now we're front and center with our customers saying, this is what we're going to do. This is the outcome you're going to get when you hire us. The customers that we've taken through this new process have given us tremendous feedback. This is the aggregate Net Promoter Score, but if you look more recently, it's only been trending up, so it's even higher than this in the most recent weeks. To step back, customer happiness isn't what we've done all this for. We want to keep striving for it, but the real outcome has been the bolstered SaaS metrics that underlie the value of our company and why we exist. So the 30% retention improvement has had the impact on our ability to grow our account base. So our growth rate has directly benefited from this innovation. Separately, the accounts that were leaving us early on, we were spending money that we're no longer spending. We functionally have reallocated that team to focus on saving customers later in the life cycle. So it's been able to reduce our cost of customer acquisition, and the implied value increase over a 10-year period for our customers as we've rolled out all these changes, and the retention increase implies a 3 times higher 10-year customer value. So again, helping us accomplish our mission as a company, strengthening our metrics, which has put us in a more financially flexible way and in a way that we can invest in the parts of our business that we need to. So thank you.
All right, thank you.